this movie was a disservice to blackness. Honestly, for me, it was unsatisfying for me as an African woman to see them force a story about another marginalized group into this movie. This is where I accept that this film is an American story from an American perspective and not an African one. And I will conclude by saying that this is why it's extremely important for Africans or blacks and Africans, right, to tell our own stories. Because this movie was a black story helmed through the lens of white supremacy. Let's begin. The big statements here, big statements. This movie was helmed through the lens of white supremacy. So why would I say that? First of all, I will first explain that when it comes down to it, yes, the cast of Wakanda Forever were black. Yes, the director is black. Yes, but this is still a Disney movie. This is still, Marvel. And these are still white executives that they are answering to when they're making these stories. They still have to comply with whiteness. And then that makes you think about the perspective of the creators, because at the end of the day, look, you as a Ryan Coogler sit there, he could write whatever he wants to write. He still has to get it approved by white executives. And a system, right, that is only empowered us to make Black Panther in the first place because they financially benefited from it. But their true agenda is not really to liberate black people. Their true agenda is to tell stories and monetize those stories, right, without losing their control of the world. Because at the end of the day, white supremacy runs the world currently that we live in. And this system in Hollywood that has encouraged white supremacist ideals, the world that we're in has always encouraged white supremacist ideals. And as social media opened up the doors and made us chip away at that, complain about things, spot things out, they have had to open up the doors for us a little bit. But ultimately, this is about control, and they're never going to give up their control. Because as long as white society can dictate what is acceptable in the world, and they can allow us to exist within the spaces that they create, well, they continue to have that control. But the moment that we empower black people in a way that could really give us the control that they have, even though that's not really what we're looking for necessarily, can't speak for everyone. But if we give them that, if they give us that power, so ultimately my point is Marvel, Disney, their agenda, I repeat, is not to empower black people with these stories. Their agenda is to make money, is to monetize. And so because of this agenda, they have limited the growth rate of the black empowerment movement through cinema.